Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Week 5 lecture. This week, we are continuing our conversation on the role of the Federal Reserve. And for this week, we are talking about the Federal Reserve and the financial crisis of 2008, 2009. So, as we did last week, right, we are going to be focusing the lecture on Dr. Ben Bernanke's videos, right? I think they do a very good job in illustrating the key concepts, the impacts that the different economic situations had on the crisis and the role of the Fed. And so I think that the videos are going to provide you with a much better foundation for the lecture. So please watch both videos, right? The Bernanke lecture 2 and lecture 3, okay, which are part of this lecture, and continue your research and writing for critical assignment, okay? So this is the critical assignment that is due at the end of the class. So please continue your research and continue writing, at least starting to write it. Okay. We also have a written assignment for this week, and we have a short discussion question also. And then last but not least, your quiz number 4. Okay. So for this topic, right? For this week's topic, which is on the Fed, your written assignment asks a couple of questions. Now, please remember that these assignments should be addressed as papers, as very short papers, but papers nonetheless. So I'd like to see you address these two questions in a paper format with a cover page and a reference page and a body, okay? I don't want to see just one piece of paper with a number 1 and then an answer to a question like this is a question on a test, because that's not what this is about. I'd like to see you be able to provide a comprehensive and complete argument that addresses these two questions. So what are these two questions? What caused the rapid rise in housing prices in the years preceding the financial crisis? So here I'd like to see the causes, okay? I'd like you to do research, listen to Dr. Bernanke's videos, but perhaps you might want to go and find another source or two that illustrate different causes or suggest other causes to the increase in housing prices, okay? By the way, don't forget to cite your sources, right, to avoid plagiarism, so don't forget that. And then the second main question that this assignment should address is list some of the causes of the bursting of the housing bubble. So the first part is what caused the rapid rise in housing prices, meaning what inflated the bubble? What was the air that inflated the bubble? The second one is what caused the bubble to burst. Okay, so think about your paper in those terms, right? And explain how each of these causes could contribute to the decline in housing prices. So please be specific in your explanation. So this is what I expect from your written assignment. Then you have a discussion question and you have a quiz. So for the DQ, it's related to the bubble and the financial crisis, and the question asks about the impact of asymmetric information on the housing bubble. So what impact did that have? Remember the concepts of moral hazard and adverse selection. So remember those and think about how information or asymmetry of information caused or supported the financial crisis of 2008. So that's your DQ. Your quiz number 4 is comprised of 5 multiple choice questions and these are going to cover the topics covered in the week 5 readings, the lectures and videos, right? You can repeat the quiz one time, so you have, for a total of 2 attempts, right? So your initial attempt, and then you can repeat it another time, as long as the attempt is completed on or before the due date. And the due date is Wednesday of next week. Okay, so please keep your eye on that and try to do your best and complete it as soon as possible. Okay. All right. So as I said, this is going to be a little bit of a short lecture, but it's at least it gives you some information as to the expectations of the assignments, and again, the body, the real content of this week's lecture will come out of the videos provided by Dr. Bernanke. Okay, as I conclude today this week's lecture, think about Matthew here, Matthew 7:12. So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them, for this is the law of the prophets, right? So what does this mean? Well, it means that if we don't want others to lie to us, if we don't want others to trick us financially, if we don't want others to present things in a way that are not true and that are going to give somebody that we are in business with, or exchanging, or in a negotiation, if we don't want to be the victim of that, then we should not do the same, okay, to them, which speaks to this idea of information asymmetry, moral hazard, where sometimes individuals in the economy will take advantage of the asymmetry of information to gain an advantage, what we call sometimes in economics rent seeking. So rent seeking takes place when often when there is asymmetry of information. So for example, if I am selling a house and I put the house on the market, nobody knows that house perhaps was flooded. Okay, nobody knows that the basement flooded 4 feet. Nobody knows that the house suffered serious structural damage during a tornado, right? Nobody knows that. I know that because I'm the owner and I'm selling the house. So somebody comes to see it, you don't say anything, you cover up all of the evidence, right? And all of a sudden you have a situation where a potential buyer, unaware of the real state of the house, may offer a higher value, a higher price for the house than what the house is really worth, because of this information asymmetry. The lack of complete information about a product leads to these types of situations. It happens all the time, and it leads to inefficiencies in the market. It leads to what we call market failure, which we've talked about before. So we should not do unto others, right? We should refrain from these types of endeavors and engagements, and if we don't want others to do this to you. So it's a message that kind of ties in this idea of information asymmetry that causes market failures, and what happened in the financial crisis. Because what really happened in the financial crisis, the finance part of it, the economics part of it, is one thing, but really what drove this was moral hazard. It's what That was the oxygen, the engine that drove this financial crisis in the first place. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this short lecture. I am looking forward to reading your assignments, and as always, I wish you the very best in the week, and I hope you do well, and God bless. Thank you very much.